Let's talk about the production of your life. In this big, sprawling story, who's the main character? Is it you? It seems like a simple question, but stick with me, because the answer, well, it can get surprisingly complicated.
You know that feeling, right? It's a little weird. Like you're the trusty sidekick, the reliable best friend, always there to help the real star shine. But your own story, your own plot, just kind of gets forgotten. Today, we're going to dive into a huge realization that started with something so small, so everyday, you're not going to believe it. So let's get into part 1, the unwanted phone call. Yeah, that's right. This whole journey doesn't kick off with some grand vision on a mountaintop. Nope. It starts with the simple, annoying buzz of a phone. Okay, so picture it. You're minding your own business, maybe you're finally getting some work done, and boom, your phone rings. You get that little jolt of interruption. You look down at the screen and, you see the name, and it's that person. Come on, we all have one. The person who only ever calls when they need a favor, and just like that, your whole vibe just tanks. And it's not just a little, oh, bother. It's a full-on wave of feeling. Your anxiety spikes. You feel instantly annoyed, and there's this deep irritation that sets in, all from one little phone call. For some people, this feeling is so strong it's been described with a pretty shocking word. Violent. I mean, just let that sink in. Violent. That tells you everything, doesn't it? It's this feeling that your boundaries, your time, your peace have just been completely invaded without your permission. And that one single violent moment, it changed everything. Which brings us to part 2, life as a production. That annoying phone call was the trigger for a whole new way of looking at things, seeing life as this giant stage play where we're all cast in different roles. But the real question is, what role have you been playing? And this is where it all clicks. That awful feeling was a symptom of something bigger, constantly playing the supporting role. It's a character we just fall into, you know? Sometimes we don't even realize it's happening. We just end up serving everybody else's story, pushing their plot forward, while our own story gets pushed to the side. So I'm going to ask you straight up. Just think for a second about your life, your job, your friendships, your family. Are you always the one saying yes, the dependable one who drops everything for someone else's crisis or celebration, while your own script is just sitting on a shelf collecting dust? And as you can probably guess, being the supporting actor 24/7, it comes with a seriously heavy price tag. This brings us to part 3, the supporting role burnout. It's a special kind of exhaustion, the kind you only get from constantly living for other people.
And this is what that burnout feels like at rock bottom. It's this total disconnection, not just from the people around you, but from your own self. You've poured so much energy into everybody else's production that there's just nothing left in the tank for your own. You're just checked out. And look, this isn't something that just happens in one corner of your life. It bleeds into everything. As you can see here, it shows up big time in our relationships, our jobs, with our families, even our friendships. It becomes this pattern of just existing for other people. So what's really going on here? Where does this come from? Well, it all boils down to this quiet little agreement we make, an agreement to just ignore our own gut feeling. To say yes out loud when every single part of our body is screaming no. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff. Part 4, redefining the lead role. If we stop being the supporting actor, does that automatically make us some self-centered, spotlight-hogging diva? No way! It's not about narcissism. It's about something way cooler, co-creation. Let's just break this down because it's so important. The fear, the misconception, is that taking the lead means becoming a star, demanding attention, making everyone play by your rules, and just draining the energy out of the room. But the reality, what we're actually aiming for, is co-creation. That's about being an active participant, aligning with people, and creating something together that's energizing for everybody. So that's the new goal, co-creation. It means you're actively involved in your life's production. You're not just serving others, you're aligning with them to create a story where everyone gets to be a star in their own right. All right, part 5, choosing your co-creators. This all sounds great, but how do we actually start writing our own script? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty practical stuff. Here's your new playbook. Step 1, stop waiting by the phone, hoping someone casts you in their scene. You make the first move. Step 2, look for people you can truly align with, not just people you can do favors for. 3, get really, really conscious about your yes. Ask yourself, Is this a real yes, or is this an obligation yes? And finally, number 4, a commitment to stop making those tiny agreements that are really just tiny acts of self-betrayal.
And that brings us right back to where we started. The first concrete step to taking back the lead role wasn't some huge dramatic fight. It was as simple as deciding not to call the uncle back. Instead, just send it text. A small, powerful choice to take back control and communicate on your own terms. And this right here is the biggest takeaway of all. Choosing to lead, choosing to co-create, it is the exact opposite of abandoning yourself. It's actually the ultimate way of honoring yourself, your energy, and your own amazing story.
So as we close out, the question for you is no longer whose story am I supporting? The real question is, what am I creating? What's the very next scene you're going to write for yourself, starting right now?